The time has come, and so have I, to talk about this wonderful game right here called Devil May Cry 5. I have actually played Devil May Cry 5 whenever it first came out, and I did not hop on the hype train. I did like it before the anime came out, and I still like the anime, like I said. But I finally wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to do what I used to do. Is it good or is it bad? But I couldn't find games that were bad, or bad enough to talk about. I always love the games that I talked about, so instead I'm just going to do a little game review over how the characters play, what the story is, all that shit. And in the back, I do not own any of these music. This music that is used in the video is from Capcom, and I will put the artist in the description because I want you to I want you guys to put these on your playlist or something, all right? Because these guys, the music in this game is like one of the best things ever. The boss fights, the combat, the music go hand in hand. So anyway, let's get started with the combat, or just actually let's get started with the characters. Yeah, the characters would be way more easier to talk about. Alright, so first up that we see right here, his name is Nero. He is the protagonist in Devil May Cry 4 and in Devil May Cry 5. He first appeared in Devil May Cry 4, and his whole bit is that he loves this girl named Kyrie that just got kidnapped. He wants to find out where Kyrie is, and then in the process, he meets Dante, and they don't know each other. They don't like each other yet, so it's hard to say if they're friends or not. But in this game, he is just wanting to get revenge on the guy that stole his arm, and I'll talk about that guy in a second. So, he gets his ass kicked, and then gets cursed with the name Dead Weight by Dante. So, once he makes it back to face the guy that ripped his arm off, he finds the truth about who he is, and it's a whole thing that I'll again get into because this whole thing is gonna be spoilers. Spoiler is gonna be like a main thing for this video because it's kind of impossible to talk about a game like this without the spoilers, because I'm going to be introducing a character in the next one with spoilers. Alright, so with the combat, Nero is actually a pretty straightforward character. They kind of advanced him in this game than in Devil May Cry 4, because in Devil May Cry 4, the only thing that he got was a stand. It's pretty funny, but in this game, whenever you first play him, he has Devil Breakers, which are the little arm things that I'm not using at all in this video. These arms are basically like little power-ups that you can do to increase the combat and increase your style ranking, because style is important, and I'll get into that. So these Devil Breakers are made by Nico. Nico is a very important character in the game because she upgrades literally everything that you want. But next up is Nero's sword, Red Queen. Red Queen is a modified sword because any sword wielded by Nero would break under his immense strength. Not saying that he is very strong, but he does possess the blood of Sparta, which makes him superhuman because he can regenerate fast and all that other shit. So he also has a gun called Blue Queen. Blue Queen is a double barrel revolver, which cannot happen in the real world, no matter how hard you try. But he makes it work, And then after defeating the game, the next thing you get is his Devil Trigger. All of the main 3 Bloodlines of Sparta have this ability where they can access their demon form. Nero's demon form is wonky. I honestly do not like it, but it is pretty cool to use it in combat. The style isn't good, but who cares? So with this new Devil Trigger, he can grow back. He grew back his arm, but he also can grab and suplex everyone into the ground. You'll see later in the video. But to get off with the story again, is Nero goes on a quest to have revenge from the first boss whenever you play this game. and he is with this character, V. Him and V are kind of like a duo, if you will. It's pretty cool. But they constantly get split up, and you are just kind of just like adventuring with them. And that's pretty much it with their friendship. Their friendship is cut short. But it's really hard to talk about everything right now because I love watching the combat in this game. It's one of my favorite things. Alright. So I will also because I want to show you I want to get to the Buster arm, or yeah, right there. That is the Devil Trigger Buster arm. But anyway, I want to also really quickly diverge into the difficulty. This is played on Son of Sparta, which is the second hardest difficulty in this game. It goes from Human, Devil Hunter, Son of Sparta, and then to Dante Must Die, which in all of the Devil May Cry games is the hardest difficulty ever. And these difficulties, they are hard. In the little enemies, like these little hordes of enemies, I don't find Son of Sparta that hard actually. But once we get to the bosses, man, do they kick my ass. I have to use these orbs, and orbs is another thing that I will get into right now. So as you see, my health bar is pretty, it's not maxed out, but it's pretty upgraded. Blue orbs, which you can find around the map or purchase at Nico's workshop, are to like just +1 vitality. And then we have purple orbs, which you can see a purple gauge. That is your Devil Trigger gauge, and it will up the increase on that, where you can use it a lot more. And then we have red orbs, which drop from enemies. Those are your currency in this game. And then last but not least is gold orbs. They revive you. They will revive you up to full, give you all of your Devil Trigger, and just basically it will be where you last left off. Alright, now let's get into Virgil, which I will explain who Virgil is in a second. Right here we have the storm that is approaching and who wants to reclaim his name. This is Virgil, Dante's youngest brother. I think he's the youngest. Point is, that's his twin brother. He is Virgil, or Nero's dad, and the guy that ripped his arm off. Essentially, in Devil May Cry 4, Nero found the Yamato, which is the sword that Nero uses. It was broken, and a guy named Agnes was researching it, and he was trying to find out what it could do, because the Yamato can cut through space and time and open portals to anywhere in the world, I think. I really don't know much about the Yamato besides that. But anyway. So the Yamato is a pretty important tool in this universe. It is mainly the driven point of everyone's power, or just Virgil's power, but also the driven point in Devil May Cry 4, because they want the sword so bad to basically wreak havoc on everyone. But anyway, I am losing thought, man. Virgil is a very complex character in the fact that he has the same style as Nero, to where he doesn't, because I will talk about it later with Dante. Nero and Virgil don't have that much fire power. They have a lot of sword use. They are like melee characters at heart. So Virgil's whole thing is that he needs concentration. You'll see at the bar above the health bar, that's his concentration meter, and I will use it later in the video, but to pull off like the Virgil combos, you need that to be full. And I'm sure you've seen the combo that I'm talking about. The motivation combo is what it's called. But I do not pull it off in this video because I am not good at this game at all. It may look like I'm good sometimes, but no, I am pretty bad, I think, in this game. But I do like playing this game. It is actually, with the combat system, You can play this game on easy and learn. You don't have to be good at the game. And also, you don't have to get style points. If you're just having fun with the game, then that's good, you know? But anyway, Virgil has 3 different unique melee weapons. He has the Beowulf, which is a fist and boot weapon, which is close quarters combat. Then he has his signature sword, the Yamato, and then the Mirage Sword. The Mirage Sword is a beam of light that he usually shoots, but channeled into a energy sword, kind of like Halo. But anyway, Virgil's story is a weird one. So, in Devil May Cry 4, he is shown, and he is dying. He is, like, at his life force is gone, and it's just non-existent at all. But he figures out a solution, and that is to take his son's arm. He shows up to Nero after probably not even knowing he existed. He probably just like sensed the Yamato's energy. And because in this game, Dante says that Nero is your son, and that even took Virgil by surprise. But he takes a sword or takes Nero's arm, turns it into the Yamato, and goes away. And with the Yamato, he slices himself, or stabs himself, and that's a common trait in the Sparta family. It really is. He separates himself into 2 people, his human side and his demon side. His demon side is actually, like, is the main antagonist in this game, because the antagonist's goal, and his name's Urizen, his whole goal is to get the world apple, or it's an apple looking thing, and this apple thing is supposed to give him ultimate power and make him rule over both you know, the demon world and the overworld. So it is a very weird thing with how Virgil is in this game. So his human side is helping is helping Dante and Nero with defeating Urizen, because he has his own secret goal that I'll talk about in a second. But Virgil, his whole you can play as him in the game, not just in the Bloody Palace, which is where this whole thing is, which is just a gauntlet of, you can just like fight enemies, just have a good old time. There's no real progress in the story, but you do get blood orbs, so it's a really good grinding way. But anyway, he really is only there to fight Dante. Virgil really just wants to fight Dante to keep his place as just the ruler. So yeah, there's not much to say about Virgil, because he shows up to the end of the game and is really only there fighting Dante. But at the end of the game with Dante, not realizing his mistakes, because I know he doesn't care, he is separating, or he's cutting off the roots of a tree that is grown to space, and he is in the underworld with his brother locked in. He can't escape, but he and Dante are internally fighting as of now. And hopefully if we get Devil May Cry 6, we'll see what the turnout is, like if they ever escape. But anyway, we are then going to go towards V. Now we have the Crimson Cloud himself, V. V is a very complex character, to say the least. He is my least favorite out of the group, mainly because of how easy he is to play, but he's also extremely hard to master. And by that I mean, for me, how I play him is I constantly pick up my controller and just mash X and Y, which is on the Xbox, that is the input to control his summons. Because V cannot fight. He is very weak. He is the weakest and can't do anything. Because he is actually pretty much only human in these games, in the whole gang. So, but he does have Virgil's nightmares, or Virgil's thoughts. So first up we have the bird that is his, like, kind of companion, the one that he goes around a lot and the one that's always out that he really doesn't summon. Griffin is the bird that is filled with electricity. He is pretty weird. He acts like he is a coward, but he is extremely strong. He has a cool combo, and he is the firearm in V's arsenal. Next up is Nightmare. Or no, Shadow. Shadow is the panther-like being that you will see. He is filled with just amazing combat. He is honestly the best part about V because of how fluid his combat is. He doesn't feel clunky, he doesn't feel like anything but cool. So, the next up is then V's like best summon, that one that takes the most life energy from V, is Nightmare, which you can see in the background. He's a big glob of monsters, goop, and he's a monster. And all of V's summons are pretty much bosses from the first game, and I think that's a pretty cool thing. They all look pretty similar, if not they are. But it would make sense because of the story, but I won't spoil it, the DMC1. So anyway, V's combat is that the demons that he works with can't kill demons, which makes sense. It's a cool thing to consider. So basically, after they do enough damage to the demon, they will go into this white state where they'll be confused, they won't attack, and that's whenever V can come in for the kill. His cane that he uses tears through demons easily. There is nothing that it can't tear through. And I don't even have V maxed out. I have none of the characters maxed out, so where you can like show off their true abilities, but V with his cane is a nightmare. So anyway, his Devil Gauge is that he summons Nightmare, and once that's out, you can control Nightmare or have him be stationary and idle, which I kind of do for most of the time because riding him, you are slow, and he's going to disappear, so why even bother? And then his story. So V's whole story is he wants to get rid of the Clyfod roots, which is what the whole story is about, getting rid of these Clyfod roots to like find the one that Urizen is in. But he also wants to track down Urizen for himself, mainly because he wants to re-merge himself with Virgil. He wants to become Virgil again. That's his whole thing that he wants to do, and he does succeed in the last mission. He finally says we'll be together again to Urizen or whatever his name is. And then V's no longer a playable character, but he does have some memorable boss fights, I will say. Even though I don't like playing as him, he is a pretty fun character to learn and to just have around, because, I mean, you're just a guy that's relying on things and you can look cool doing it. I think after this one, I do a taunt if I'm, yep. You play the violin. It is a pretty cool thing. Now moving on to everyone's favorite ore farmer and all of that, Dante. But before that, I actually do want to show this quick little thing. It's this boss fight in the Blade Palace. I just thought it would be a cool thing to show you what V can do, and it's pretty funny, pretty cool looking. Next up, we have just the guy, Dante. He is the subhuman that cannot be killed. Alright, Dante is the most complex combat person combat in the game. He has 4 guns and 4 melee weapons, and 4 style things that he can do. Style is a very big thing in Dante's kit. He has Swordmaster, Trickster, Gunslinger, and Royal Guard. Going off of Swordmaster, it basically increases the melee melee damage and the thing they can do. You'll see in a second. The motorcycle can turn to a motorcycle you can ride. The gauntlets, you can do breakdancing, all that stuff. And then with the nunchucks, it can be a fire staff. That's what I'm trying to get at. It adds another attack. There you go, an attack. I really can't think. Trickster is a evasion technique. It allows you to evade and go towards enemies pretty quickly. Gunslinger is a pretty cool little trick. If you're in the air or anywhere and you press B or the just whatever B is replaced with in other controllers, I don't know, you will then pull out your gun to do a little quick shot. That's really it. Then my favorite out of the whole style is Royal Guard. If you time it perfectly and block the attack, you will then be given a very quick and stylish, overwhelming punch that you can do to like eliminate any enemy. And it can fill up, and it is extremely hard to fill up because a lot of bosses can shatter your defense, but that's about it. Going over of all of Dante's weapons, his signature guns, Ebony and Ivory, he will always have. Then he has Devil Sword Dante, which replaces Rebellion in this game because in his fight with Urizen in the first mission, it breaks. Urizen shatters it, and Dante lugs around a lot of stuff. He just lugs around the sword, but he also lugs around an extremely cool replacement for Rebellion, Devil Sword Sparta. That's essentially the sword that is owned by his dad that is supposed to be very powerful, and it is a pretty cool replacement, but you don't use it that much. It actually gets turned into Devil Sword Dante whenever he infuses the Rebellion in himself and also takes the Devil Sword Sparta with him. Then we have Virgil's Bayonet gauntlets, but with Dante's. You can really see their two fighting styles, with Dante being more stylish and like guns a-blazing. Because with Virgil, you have to be precise, accurate, and you can charge it up. With Dante, just go, just fight. He is really fun and really cool to use. It is probably my favorite melee weapon that Dante has. Next up, we have the boomstick, or shotgun. It's just a shotgun, nothing special. Then we have, I forget the names of the rocket launchers, but they belong to Lady, and you can fire rockets that do devastating attack. Then we have the Cerberus nunchucks. They are pretty cool. I mean, all of Dante's weapons are cool. It's tiring saying the same thing. But anyway, with Dante's nunchucks, in Sword Master he can turn it into a fiery bow staff, but he can also have a electric whip and a ice cold nunchuck. That's really it. And then the last but not least of Dante's arsenal of guns is the hat, which I know it has a name, I cannot remember right now. The hat consumes devil blood, red orbs, blood points. That's whatever. It consumes, but you can also allow other characters to wear it. It is a funny trait that you can do. And then last but not least is a weapon that Dante gets from this game, and that is the motorcycle. The motorcycle is pretty much the best one. You have two sides of the motorcycle to do amazing damage, and will do a pretty cool. It's just really cool things. I can't explain it because you just have to play the game, really. Alright, what is Dante's story? That is the best question, because his first half of the whole, like, why he's there is he gets interrupted by a person that he's running a building from, because he does have a business called Devil May Cry, which he goes around and hunt demons. But he's broke. Dante is quite a broke person. He sometimes just does stuff for free, but whatever. So V storms into his office, or doesn't storm, he goes into his office and says, hey, I have a job for you. And Dante really wants money because his water and electricity are shut off. So what is the task? Well, it is... the cutscene says Virgil, but it cuts off to where new players are like, who is it? So that's... Besides that, no one really knows why Dante's here. He just assumes that he got set to just take down a demon. But another thing is that he knows that it is the demon is Virgil, and he wants to stop Virgil from consuming everything. And he then goes to confront Virgil and wants to take the Amado so he doesn't open any more portals and destroy the Earth. That's really it. That's the second half of why he wants to do what he's doing. Dante has a very complex story because sometimes he's just there, like in Devil May Cry 4 with Nero. He's just there. He doesn't really have a purpose. It is Nero's game, and so he just takes a back seat. And he is kind of in this one. He does have some good boss fights. Instead of Devil May Cry 4, he just like goes back and kills all the bosses that Nero left off. But yeah. Essentially, because this video is quite long, I just looked at how long it is. I'm going to cut it off short because I do want to just continue to edit this. The game's fun. I love this game to death. The characters are awesome. Play this game now.